What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. It is Thursday, the 27th, and tomorrow is the last day of the quarter. And of course, there hasn't been a lot to do. It has been extremely challenging to really trade these markets. There has not been an overwhelming amount of activity. And of course, that always makes it somewhat problematic. When you have challenging markets, they make it a lot tougher to trade. And again, you're not getting enough volume. You're not getting enough activity, which all that means is you don't get the quick moves, which is if you're trading on a short basis, short term, then it's harder to get the action because the action doesn't come. And it's something to note. Okay, you can see we've been chopping around. And again, as I said on Tuesday, I think this is all setting up for tomorrow. Okay, the end of the quarter. I have no idea what they're going to do. My guess is they're going to mark them higher. But if you look at the bigger picture, okay, where are we? We're nowhere in the S&P. We've had some big moves. I mean, even overnight, we were down 25 points last night. Now we're down 1, and we were up as high as 55.50. So we're up about 30. So again, we had like a $40 turn back and forth. That makes the markets very challenging to trade. I mean, again, you don't have enough action in here. So as we look at the volume, how it's already dried up from the opening. And the Dow, for example, usually I'm looking for 5,000 contracts in every 4 minutes. We never got past 2,500. Okay, same thing goes for the Russell. And in the S&P, we're looking for 40,000. So to me, this whole thing looks like it's setting up for a big move tomorrow with a lot of action, one way or the other. And as I said, my guess is that they're going to try to take them higher because, again, the window dressing benefits the portfolios. Most statements from your advisor go out quarterly, so it will make them look better. I don't know. Again, overall, the markets don't look great, but again, they're higher. So who are we to say that you can't go higher? Let me just make sure we don't have a trade to look at here. I mean, there's so little going on. It's like I can't even think of actually making a trader. So let's go take a look at our stuff and see what that looks like. And you'll see a lot of things are just stuck in that pattern. Here you go. Remember what we said the other day? Apple, if it got up to about 215, there it is. Now, again, I am not saying that you should get involved in front of the quarter end. Okay. But again, we can't always hide either, right? You get to a position, it's overbought or oversold. Again, right now, all we're trying to play is the probability of the market. Okay. That's what we're doing right now because you're not seeing any extension. I mean, you've been in consolidation in Apple for, let's say, 10 days after the big breakout. Amazon continues to charge. Now, Amazon is one certainly that I thought we might get to, and we would talked about potentially selling around 190, 195. Okay. Now, if I'm going to get involved here now, if I didn't already get involved, which I did not, but if I was going to get involved now, I would really wait for like a push to 200. Okay. Just because I will almost assure you that it will hold at 200 for at least a day. Okay. Real big whole numbers, 100, 200, and numbers like that, or in the indexes, 20,000 in the NASDAQ. When it first got there, it failed. They typically will hold temporarily after they pop through. So right now, Amazon is certainly a candidate. And again, I'm not encouraging you to do anything. I am telling you that this is one of the tougher market conditions that I've traded in, and I've been doing this for 45 years. Okay, it's very tough. You want to look and find what you find to be really good for yourself. Coin in the middle of nowhere. Okay, as we talked about, it was a potential put spread selling opportunity the other day. We're in the middle of nowhere again. I don't see much at all to do here. Crowd is just going sideways. So what am I supposed to do with this? Okay, because that it's going to make a big move out of that. The tighter it winds in that consolidation pattern, the bigger move it's going to make when it's ready to break out. I don't see any reason to try to guess which way it's going to break. I mean, based on the chart, based on what's going on, I would assume it'll break higher. But again, we're in a very weird situation now, which happens obviously 4 times a year. And, when you have a big quarter, which we do, then there's a better chance for a push up to get the window dressing in than there is for it to break down. But again, I'm not going to make any guess. I'm going to wait. Meta, we talked about 520. There you go. So here is a spot. Now, again, I'd almost sell Meta blind here as again, I'm just looking at the probability. It's very overbought. It did break out of that same type of range we just looked at in crowd. So here I'd look to sell some call spreads. I have not done so yet. Again, I will tell you what I've done. Google breaking out once again. So we got to that 185 level. Here we are. You want to sell? And again, you have to weigh the risk that you're taking with the unknown, because if you look at the markets from the week, we've had some big swings back and forth, and where do we end up? Back in the middle of nowhere. So that is something that you have to look at and debate and make a decision. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, so that is, again, trading is about making decisions. Okay, it's not about trying to gamble. It's not about trying to flip a coin, trying to guess. It's saying, okay, this is very overbought. Even if it's going higher, there's a higher probability of a pullback. Do I want to play for that pullback, or do I want to wait? That's always a decision you have to make. IWM, it's been pretty much sideways. Okay, and again, I said this on Tuesday. I said it last Thursday. If you just sell put spreads in this every day, you'd have made a lot of money. Okay. I mean, not a lot, you'd made the premium, but every day, all that, because the markets have not been able to violate and break down below there. Okay. So you can see this is setting up as a pattern. It's popped back to the mean. If it comes back down again, I would sell them again. Okay. Moderna, look, here you go. It's getting really trampled here. It is extremely extended. That was almost a daily blow off yesterday, being followed through today. If it starts to turn around, and what I would do is I would go and look. For me, I'd go look at a 10-minute chart. And when the 10-minute chart starts to turn, which it looks like it's starting to turn right there, that would be an opportunity for me to say, hey, it's a good shot. It's a good time for me to go ahead and sell. It looks like it's going to start to turn up. Remember, you have limited reward, limited risk when you make those trades. Okay. Microsoft continues to fly higher, but it is not to the point where it's extremely overbought yet. Again, I told you the other day, 460. If we get to 460, I'll give them some. Okay. NVIDIA. Here we go. So NVIDIA's got overbought, right back down to the mean and hovering at the mean. So it looks like we're building some support around 118. All right, we're trading at 123. Okay, there's nothing for me to do here, but watch. The Qs, again, there's nothing for me to do here, but watch, because if I'm going to have to make a guess, I got to guess that they're going higher. I cannot legitimately guess they're going to go low. Okay. It would be just silliness on my part if I wanted to guess that they were going to go low. Okay. Because at the end of the day, the trend is certainly up. You cannot dispute the direction this is going. So again, if I'm going to guess, I got to guess to the upside, as much as I would hate to. But again, why should I fight the tape? Square, here we are. Again, we thought selling put spreads here was fine. And of course, it's popping a little bit. But here now we're in Nowheresville. The spiders, we're in Nowheresville. Okay. So there is not a lot of opportunity. I suspect that there will be some opportunities created tomorrow if you're willing to carry positions over the weekend. Okay. Because if we get the big rally that I suspect we might get, okay, you might want to look at selling some premium going into the weekend. It's Mondays are notoriously, when they're down, a down day. Now, if you get an inordinate move tomorrow, okay, even if they're going higher, more than likely there'll be a little bit of a pullback on Monday morning. But again, remember, there is always risk involved, and there ain't nothing for nothing. Okay. Tesla had a little bit of a pop, which we thought, again, remember what we said the other day. It broke out of that consolidation range. It came back and sat on support, and now it popped. It is overbought. It is something that you could take a look at. And again, I'm not anxious. I'm really not anxious for anything, but at 200, I might look at it. Okay. To sell some call spreads. Right. When, again, bouncing off of that oversold condition once again, no shock, and Zoom, again, bounced right off it. So we'll see. Again, you're trying to play probability. That's all you can do right now, because there is no necessarily rhyme nor reason for what markets are going to do next. We have a very, very tightly traded market that has not given the dramatic price action that we would like to see. And without price action, it makes things a lot tougher for us, because the busier you are, the more price action there are, the better off your trading opportunities are going to be. The more trades you can make. Again, I would rather make 20 trades and hit 13 or 14 out of 20 than try to make one or two and try to go 1 for 1 or 2 for 2. It's much easier, and the markets, the more trades you can get, the more forgiving the markets are going to be. And that doesn't mean just making ad hoc trades. That means making trades that qualify, that you understand why you're making the trade, the reasoning behind the trade, and it should never better include the news. It's purely based on the overall price action of the market. Okay, that's the bottom line. Okay, if you do anything other than that, you're putting yourself at risk and in jeopardy for absolutely no reason, and it makes no sense to put yourself in that position. Okay, all you can do when you do that, all you're doing is guessing and taking undue risk that is not going to help you. Right. So let's just see here. So again, I'd like to have a trade to make. The trade we made the other day, one that we got late in the day. But again, I'm not trying to tell you that, they're all winners. They're not all winners. It just so happens we get so few, okay, that it just makes it that much more challenging, okay, to participate in this market, because there's not really much action. So you got to continue to look, okay. And again, my advice, and what I'm doing, when I'm done with you guys, I'm done for the day. Okay, I'm in Pacific time zone. I'm in Vegas, so I'll be done at 9:20 or 8:20 Pacific time. I'm out. Okay, now it doesn't mean that I won't be paying attention, but I'll be out by the pool, and I'll be able to see if something's going on, because I can certainly see if there's any action on my phone. But I'm not going to sit here and stare at this screen all day, because all I can do if I stare is find trouble. Okay. And again, with the lack of volume and the lack of activity, it just tells me that there's something bigger for tomorrow that is planned. I don't mean planned like they're scheming, but it looks to me we've seen nothing but a chop all week, and we've gone absolutely nowhere, as you can see. Okay, I mean, again, the charts tell the story. You don't have to listen to me, but the charts themselves tell you the story. Here's this week. Virtually no movement. Okay. So again, what's the point of getting involved? What's the point of trying to do anything when you're not putting yourself in a position of high probability? And that is always something to remember, that the whole basis is a mathematical model of trading, that you're trying to get probability in your favor. And we don't have it right now. So what am I going to do with it? I'm going to sit here and go back and look and see if anything does happen. But now I don't like when they happen. I mean, I'll take them, but I don't like when they happen now, because there's so little to do that I don't want to stake my day on one trade and hope that it's right. Okay. Again, hope and trading they don't go together. Okay. You have to have a reason to be in. You have to have the reason to play. And without that reason, there's not much to do. So we're waiting. And of course, you can see that volume is just decreasing into nothing. It's almost like it's a holiday and we're closed. Okay. So do you think that it's the right opportunity? If you have questions, you can ask them. I know I'll get to them if I see them. But for me, I don't see where I'm going to gain any true advantage to this market right now. So any trade I would make, first of all, is probably not going to give me the speed or the movement that I want to get. Okay. Number one. Number two, I don't have, could I make a case to buy the Dow here? Yeah, I could make a case. If I want to make the case, I could make a case to buy the Russell too. Okay. But I'm not making any cases, because to me, I don't have any real advantage other than I can see in the chart, but the charts are moving so slowly that the footprint is not necessarily any good, because there's no action behind it. And I think that's one of the things that you always have to remember. Okay. Is that you have to feel that you have an edge based on the market price action, based on the trading that is going on, not based on what you might hear on the news, not based on what you might think. I mean, I think the economy sucks. I think that we're in a recession for the middle class. I think the jobs suck, but yet the markets go higher. Remember, the markets don't care about anything but what? Money. Okay, that's what drives the markets. Now, again, you can fight it all you want, but those who fight the tape usually end up broke. Okay, because trying to fight the masses is going to hurt you in the long run. And I think that you just have to learn to recognize that there is very little to do right here. See, we're getting a little bit of a bounce here. This is kind of hovering. Again, I'm not saying you should make any trades here. I'm just giving you things that I would be looking at. I would think that gold would probably fail from here, or at least give me an opportunity. The notes are dead sideways. Okay. Where am I going to go with this? Okay. And you know, the S&P and the NASDAQ are just swinging. Okay. Euro currency is starting to trend lower. Okay. And crude is starting to trend higher. Okay. But there's really not an opportunity for me, from my perspective of 45 years looking at this. Again, back on the old floor days, I'd be on the golf course. Okay. Let's see, it'd be 10 o'clock. I'd be on my way to the golf course right now. Okay. Because there's no reason for me to get involved in this. Okay. And again, I know everybody wants to trade. I know that's why you're here. But at the end of the day, you have to learn that a decision to make no trade is the same as making a trade. Okay. This is why I always recommend that your investments be hedged. You know, we do hedging. We have it all automated, and I don't have to think about it. Okay. I've had some action in my hedging account today that rolled up, rolled down, and took care of some business, and I don't have to watch it because I know that my main portfolio, the 95% of my wealth is hedged and protected. So I don't have to worry about it. And if it needs to make a trade, it will make it automatically for me. And I think that's, you know, again, so I don't have to be emotional about it. I just let it just does it by itself. But this, from a short-term trading perspective, and if you can't see any action in 4 minutes, it's only going to get worse as you go longer in time. Even in the 1 minute, there isn't much action. Okay. I mean, what do you got in the 1 minute? Very little action. Okay. So again, you remember, you're not going to churn out the market by being a counter trend trader that you're taking more risk. Okay. Because your costs are too expensive. Even at the low rates of Tradier, it's too expensive to try to go back and forth and scalp out small gains. Okay. You generally need to be where you're going to get a bigger move. Okay. That is one of the keys to remember. You know, as a floor trader, I could scalp out an eighth or a quarter. You know, we traded in fractions when I was a kid, when I first started. Okay. An eighth or a quarter on a 10 lot is $125 to $250. Okay. I can't do that here because I can't get enough of an edge. So my costs start to churn me out. Okay. So again, sometimes it's just better to stand aside and say, hey, there's nothing for me to do. So that is my recommendation to all of you. I don't see much. I don't think there's a lot to do here. I would certainly tell you that for my money, I would be sitting on the sidelines and waiting. Or in my case, I'll be out by the pool and maybe the golf course later, because I'm not getting involved in this shit. Excuse me, bad word, have to beat me out. I'm not getting involved in this as we sit here. It just doesn't make sense. So I will see you all back here on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. And again, just be careful. And tomorrow could be wild. That's what I want you to watch for. Tomorrow could be wild, and it should be wild to the upside if it's going to be wild. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you later.
Thanks for watching. Please be sure to take some time to read the disclaimer. Thank you.